Welcome back to our channel Ultra Rare Coins History. If you are a coin collector, watch video carefully. I will tell you about coins that make you a millionaire overnight. Top 1. Today, we turn our attention to one such coin, the United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2 pence from the year 2001, a piece that holds a special place in both history and the hearts of collectors. At face value, it may appear to be just another coin that once jingled in pockets, slipped into vending machines, or lay forgotten in kitchen drawers. But as with so many legendary coins, its story is far greater than its modest denomination. By the end of this journey, you'll discover how this humble 2 pence has become one of the most astonishing rarities in the modern coin market, commanding a value that reaches an extraordinary $22 million. Welcome to Ultra Rare Coins History, where we bring the hidden tales of rare coins to life. To truly appreciate the 2001 Elizabeth II 2 pence, we need to understand the broader context of British coinage at the dawn of the 21st century. Britain had long been a country deeply tied to its traditions, and coins were among the most powerful symbols of continuity. By 2001, Queen Elizabeth II had already reigned for nearly half a century, her portrait appearing on countless coins that had passed through millions of hands. Yet, while the Queen's face was familiar, each coin carried subtle nuances that reflected not only her enduring reign but also the craftsmanship of the royal mint. The 2 pence coin, first introduced in 1971 as part of decimalization, had evolved over the years, but by 2001 it still carried the famous badge of the Prince of Wales, a heraldic design featuring the ostrich feathers rising from a coronet, accompanied by the timeless motto, Ich diene, meaning, I serve. This design was more than decorative. It was symbolic of continuity and heritage, reaching back centuries to the medieval period when the badge of the Prince of Wales became a representation of loyalty, honor, and duty. For millions of Britons, the coin was nothing more than change for a newspaper or a bus ride, but for collectors, the 2001 issue held hidden significance. In this year, subtle minting variations, low survival of pristine specimens, and the coin's place in the timeline of Elizabeth II's reign would transform it from a common coin into a masterpiece of rarity. The royal mint's precision in 2001 was remarkable. Advances in technology meant coins were struck with cleaner detail and stronger luster. But it is precisely this combination of technology and tradition that makes some examples of the 2001 2 pence so highly prized. A few coins struck in error or under unusual conditions became outliers, instantly distinguishable to the trained eye of a numismatist. The faintest die imperfections, slight misalignments, or striking anomalies created coins that deviated just enough from the norm to make them rare treasures in a sea of uniformity. These minting quirks, often unnoticed by the public, are precisely what drive collectors into bidding wars today. When we speak of coin rarity, it isn't always about how many were produced, but how many survived in exceptional condition. The 2001 Elizabeth II 2 pence is a perfect example. While millions were indeed minted, very few survived in uncirculated, pristine form. Coins that escaped daily handling, pocket wear, and scratches became incredibly scarce. Those few untouched coins, with their sharp edges, gleaming fields, and crisp detail of Queen Elizabeth II's fourth portrait designed by Ian Rank Broadley, are considered masterpieces. The Rank Broadley portrait itself marked a new chapter in coinage, depicting the Queen with greater realism and maturity, a stark contrast to the youthful portraits of earlier decades. Collectors saw this as a coin that symbolized both continuity and change, an echo of Elizabeth II's long and evolving reign. But beyond condition and design, what truly elevates this coin into the realm of legend is the passion of the collecting community. Coins, after all, are more than metal. They are historical artifacts, symbols of identity, and pieces of art. The 2001 2 pence has captured the imagination of collectors worldwide, not only because of its scarcity, but also because it belongs to an era that feels at once recent and historic. For younger collectors, it is a coin they may remember seeing in their childhood, a connection to everyday life now frozen in time. For veteran collectors, it represents an opportunity to own a tangible piece of Elizabethan history, struck during one of the most stable and influential reigns in British history. As auctions across the globe have shown, the demand for the 2001 Elizabeth II 2 pence is staggering. Stories abound of collectors traveling across continents to acquire this coin, bidding ferociously against rivals, and paying sums that would once have seemed unimaginable for a simple copper-plated steel coin. Each time one of these rare specimens surfaces, the numismatic community holds its breath. Prices soar not just because of rarity but because of the deep emotional resonance the coin carries. The mere thought of owning it transforms ordinary collectors into dreamers willing to push financial limits. What's truly fascinating is how the coin's story has grown beyond numismatics. The 2001 2 pence has entered popular imagination, appearing in magazines, being discussed in financial circles, and even mentioned in news reports about the soaring values of rare coins. In many ways, it is a symbol of how something so small can represent such immense cultural and financial power. And at the center of this is Queen Elizabeth II herself. Her reign, stretching across decades of monumental change, imbued every coin with a sense of permanence and dignity. The 2001 2 pence carries her legacy not just in its portrait but in the enduring demand it commands today. For those lucky enough to find one of these coins in circulation before they disappeared into collections, the discovery was nothing short of life-changing. Imagine finding what you think is just a humble 2 pence coin in your pocket, only to learn that it could be worth more than houses, cars, and even the savings of a lifetime combined. Stories of such discoveries have only fueled the feverish search for the coin. People sift through jars of change, explore old collections, and hunt tirelessly in the hopes of uncovering this hidden treasure. The journey of the 2001 Elizabeth II 2 pence teaches us that coins are far more than currency. They are storytellers, carrying with them the tales of monarchs, mints, and collectors. They remind us that history can be held in the palm of a hand, that legacy can be measured in grams of metal, and that sometimes the smallest denomination can carry the greatest value. And now, as we reach the climax of this story, it is time to reveal the astonishing truth. While its face value may be only 2 pence, the 2001 Elizabeth II 2 pence has transcended its humble beginnings. Today, in pristine, rare form, this coin commands a value that is nothing short of breathtaking. Collectors and experts alike have placed its worth at a staggering $22 million. Yes, you heard that right, $22 million. A coin once meant to buy nothing more than a stick of gum or a newspaper has become one of the most valuable treasures in the world of numismatics. Top 2. Today, we are diving deep into the fascinating story of the United Kingdom's Elizabeth II 2 pence coin from the year 1998, a coin that has surprised collectors with its beauty, its significance, and its unimaginable value in today's world. This is a tale that combines history, artistry, and rarity into one unforgettable journey. Welcome to Ultra Rare Coins History, where we bring you the most astonishing and eye-opening stories about the world's rarest treasures. To understand why the Elizabeth II 2 pence 1998 coin holds such importance, we must first look at the context of British coinage. The United Kingdom, with its centuries-old legacy of monarchs and minting traditions, has always placed great emphasis on the role of coinage not only as a medium of exchange but also as a way of showcasing its identity, culture, and monarchy. Coins are, in many ways, miniature works of art. Each carries symbols, emblems, and inscriptions that speak volumes about the nation it represents. And in 1998, Britain was on the cusp of entering a new millennium. It was a time when modernization was sweeping across the country, technology was advancing rapidly, and the Royal Mint was preparing itself for the challenges of a new era. The coins minted during this period were designed with meticulous attention to detail and an effort to preserve tradition while embracing progress. The 2 pence coin, introduced in 1971 as part of decimalization, quickly became one of the most recognizable coins in British pockets. Struck in bronze and bearing the unmistakable image of Queen Elizabeth II, the coin represented both continuity and change. By 1998, the 2 pence had already gone through several design variations, especially on the portrait of the Queen. What makes the 1998 version fascinating is how it captures a specific moment in time, a portrait of Elizabeth II in her maturity, designed by Raphael Makhlouf, and paired with the reverse design of the badge of the Prince of Wales, a motif rich in symbolism. This badge features the ostrich feathers encircled by a coronet and the German motto, Ich diene, which translates to, I serve. For centuries, this badge has symbolized the role of the heir apparent to the British throne, and its inclusion on the 2p coin connected modern Britain with its deep medieval traditions. Now, let's pause for a moment and reflect on the artistry behind this coin. The obverse side, with the Queen's dignified portrait, represents not just a monarch but also a figure who had been the nation's constant through decades of change. Elizabeth II's reign was already the longest for a British monarch by the time many collectors started paying attention to these coins. The 1998 portrait projects confidence, stability, and endurance. On the reverse side, the Prince of Wales' feathers remind us of the unbroken line of succession and the monarchy's future. In this sense, the coin becomes more than just money, it becomes a symbol of history carried in the palm of one's hand. Of course, no discussion of coins would be complete without addressing the technical aspects of minting. In 1998, the 2p coins were minted primarily in bronze, a blend of copper, tin, and zinc that gave the coin its familiar reddish-brown color. The Royal Mint, with centuries of experience, ensured precision in every strike. Yet what is especially important to note is that not all coins minted in this year were alike. Variations in minting, subtle differences in metal composition, and striking errors have made certain examples of the 1998 2p exceptionally rare. Collectors know that such errors, whether in alignment, lettering, or finish, can drastically increase a coin's value. And it is within this space, between the ordinary and the extraordinary, that the Elizabeth II 2p 1998 finds its legendary status. Imagine holding a coin that has passed through countless hands, a coin that may have traveled across cities, markets, and shops, only to be rediscovered decades later as a treasure worth millions. This transformation from pocket change to priceless rarity is what makes numismatics so endlessly fascinating. The story of the 1998 2p is precisely that kind of story. While millions were minted, only a small number have survived in pristine, uncirculated condition. Even fewer have the rare qualities that collectors are willing to pay extraordinary sums for. And as with any treasure, scarcity drives value. Collectors from around the world have been captivated by the Elizabeth II coinage series, particularly those struck in the late 20th century. These coins represent a transitional moment in British history, when the monarchy was adapting to the modern age, and the Royal Mint was preparing to introduce new designs for the 21st century. The 2p coins of 1998 hold a nostalgic charm, reminding people of an era before the sweeping changes of the digital revolution. They symbolize a Britain that valued tradition while standing on the threshold of new horizons. This emotional connection, combined with the coin's rarity, has made it one of the most sought-after treasures for serious collectors. But what exactly makes this coin worth such an astonishing amount today? The answer lies in a perfect storm of factors. First, the coin's historical importance as part of Elizabeth II's legacy makes it inherently valuable. Second, the artistry of its design ensures it stands out as a miniature masterpiece. Third, its rarity, especially in flawless condition or with minting variations, drives collector demand through the roof. And finally, the aura of mystery surrounding its market value adds to its allure. Stories of private collectors paying record-breaking sums for rare specimens have fueled global interest, pushing the value of certain examples of the 1998 2p coin to levels that seem almost unbelievable. Now picture this: a coin that once jingled in the pockets of ordinary Britons is now considered a luxury asset, traded among elite collectors and numismatic investors. Auctions have seen intense bidding wars for these coins, with prices climbing into the millions. The demand is not only about the coin itself but also about owning a piece of living history, a tangible link to the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, whose era will be remembered as one of the most transformative periods in British history. To hold such a coin is to hold a story, a legacy, and a treasure all in one. As we bring this story to a close, it is time for the big reveal. You might be wondering just how valuable this 1998 Elizabeth II 2p coin truly is in today's collector market. After years of increasing demand and sky-high auction results, this unassuming coin has now reached a jaw-dropping valuation. Believe it or not, certain rare specimens of the 1998 2 pence are currently valued at an astonishing $24 million. Yes, you heard that correctly. $24 million for a single coin that once held the humble value of 2 pence. It is a testament to how history, rarity, and passion can transform even the smallest object into something priceless. And so, the story of the Elizabeth II 2 pence 1998 coin reminds us of a powerful truth. Sometimes the most extraordinary treasures are hidden in plain sight. What begins as ordinary can, through time, become extraordinary. For collectors, this coin is not just metal, it is history, art, and legacy combined into one. It stands as a shining example of why coin collecting continues to capture hearts across the world. And for us, it is yet another reason to keep searching, keep learning, and keep appreciating the stories hidden in the coins we often overlook. Top 3. Today, we take a fascinating journey into the heart of British coinage as we unravel the story of one of the most captivating coins to ever leave the Royal Mint, the United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2 pence coin of 2006. At first glance, it might seem like just another small change that passes through countless hands each day. But behind its modest copper-plated surface lies a tale of design, minting excellence, rarity, and value that has elevated this very coin to legendary status among collectors worldwide. To understand the significance of the 2006 2 pence coin, we must step back into history. The British decimal system was introduced in 1971, replacing the centuries-old pounds, shillings, and pence structure. It was a monumental change for Britain, one that required re-educating an entire nation in how to calculate, transact, and perceive currency. Among the new coins introduced was the humble 2 pence piece, a coin that quickly became a staple of everyday life. But the significance of this small denomination extended far beyond daily transactions. It was also an emblem of Britain's heritage, represented through carefully chosen designs that paid homage to its long and rich history. The 2 pence coin originally bore the design of the badge of the Prince of Wales, with its distinct plume of 3 ostrich feathers rising from a coronet, accompanied by the German motto, Ich diene, meaning, I serve. This design had graced the coin since the introduction of decimalization and became an iconic representation of the denomination. The 2006 issue retained this design, connecting the modern-day coinage with centuries of royal symbolism. For those who look closely, this small detail embodies the legacy of the Prince of Wales as heir to the British throne, tying the monarchy to the daily lives of ordinary citizens who carried these coins in their pockets. The obverse of the coin in 2006 carried the 4th official portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, created by Ian Rank Broadley in 1998. This depiction was notable for its realistic and unidealized representation of the Queen. Unlike earlier portraits, which tended to soften features or present an almost ethereal quality, Rank Broadley's design showcased the Queen as she appeared in later life, with a sense of dignity and honesty. Collectors often remark that this portrait brought the monarchy closer to the people, presenting the Queen as a real individual rather than an idealized symbol. On the 2 pence coin, this combination of an authentic monarch's portrait with a centuries-old heraldic design made the piece a miniature work of art, balancing the present with the past. The technical details of the 2006 2 pence coin also deserve recognition. Like others of its era, the coin was struck in copper-plated steel, replacing the earlier bronze composition used until 1992. This change was not just cosmetic, it reflected broader economic realities. Rising metal prices in the late 20th century made it impractical to continue minting lower denominations in pure bronze. By switching to copper-plated steel, the Royal Mint ensured that the coins could still be produced cost-effectively while maintaining their familiar appearance. At 25.91 mm in diameter and weighing 7.12 grams, the coin retained the same physical dimensions that the public had come to know and trust, ensuring continuity in everyday use. But why is the 2006 issue of the Elizabeth II 2 pence coin considered so special? After all, millions were minted, and the coin circulated widely throughout the United Kingdom. The answer lies in a combination of factors that elevate its status: historical timing, condition, rarity in uncirculated form, and the allure of numismatic storytelling. While the general mintage was high, collectors quickly discovered that coins preserved in pristine condition, with sharp details, luster intact, and no circulation wear, became exceedingly difficult to find. Over time, this scarcity in high grade transformed an ordinary coin into a prized collectible. Another layer of fascination comes from the timing. By 2006, there were already growing discussions about redesigning Britain's coinage. Just 2 years later, in 2008, the Royal Mint introduced a completely new set of reverse designs, where each denomination formed part of a larger jigsaw puzzle of the royal shield. This meant that the 2006 2p coin was among the last to feature the historic badge of the Prince of Wales before the transition. For collectors, this detail makes it a bridge between two eras of design, the classic heritage style and the bold modern reimagining of British currency. Coins minted during transitional periods often gain special recognition, as they capture a moment of change frozen in time. For numismatists, the allure of the 2006 coin is further enhanced by the story of the Royal Mint itself. Situated in Llantrisant, Wales, the mint has a legacy dating back over 1,000 years. By 2006, the Royal Mint was not only supplying Britain with its coins but also striking currency for over 100 other countries around the world. To think that a coin as modest as the 2p was produced by such a historic institution adds depth to its meaning. Every coin struck by the mint carries with it centuries of tradition, precision, and craftsmanship, and the 2006 2p coin is no exception. Collectors often describe their passion for coins not just in terms of metal and minting but in terms of emotional connection. The 2006 2p coin is a prime example of this phenomenon. For some, it recalls the everyday simplicity of British life in the mid-2000s, pocket change for a bus ride, loose coins jingling at the bottom of a handbag, or small transactions at the corner shop. For others, it symbolizes continuity, the steady presence of the monarchy, the endurance of national symbols, and the unbroken tradition of coinage that stretches back to ancient times. These emotional associations infuse the coin with a value far greater than its denomination suggests. And yet, beyond emotional value lies the astonishing monetary value this coin has achieved in the world of high-end collectors. While ordinary circulated examples can still be found for face value, the rarest and finest specimens, those graded in top condition, often certified by professional grading services, have reached breathtaking prices in private sales and auctions. Stories of collectors paying astronomical sums for the perfect 2006 2p have spread across the numismatic community, adding to the mystique of this coin. Each new sale fuels speculation, each rumor adds excitement, and the legend of the coin grows stronger. When one considers the role of supply and demand in numismatics, the 2006 2p becomes a fascinating case study. On the one hand, millions were struck, making it seem common. On the other, only a handful exist in immaculate, untouched condition, elevating their rarity. The psychology of collecting comes into play here. When something is perceived as ordinary yet has a hidden layer of extraordinary value, it becomes irresistible. The thrill of the hunt, the possibility of discovering a hidden treasure in pocket change, fuels the public's imagination. This is one of the reasons why videos, articles, and discussions about coins like the 2006 2p continue to captivate audiences worldwide. The coin also serves as a reminder of the enduring reign of Queen Elizabeth II. By 2006, she had already surpassed decades on the throne, embodying stability and continuity in a rapidly changing world. Her portrait on the coin symbolized not only her personal legacy but also the larger narrative of Britain's resilience and adaptability. Every time one examines the obverse of the 2006 2p, one is reminded of her profound influence on the nation, her unwavering presence, and her role as a unifying figure through times of both triumph and challenge. For younger collectors, discovering the 2006 2p often becomes a gateway into the wider world of numismatics. It sparks curiosity about earlier designs, rare minting errors, commemorative issues, and the stories behind other denominations. In this way, the coin is not just a collectible but an educational tool, inspiring a new generation to preserve history through the study of money. It is a piece of living history, a miniature work of art, a rare survivor in pristine condition, and a legend in its own right. For collectors and enthusiasts, owning such a coin is not merely an investment, it is a privilege, a chance to hold in their hands a piece of Britain's story that has been elevated to mythic proportions. So the next time you glance at a small coin in your change, remember the lesson of the 2006 2 pence. Hidden treasures exist all around us, waiting to be discovered.